Coming to you from the Fishbowl Radio Network inside Globe Life Stadium in Arlington, Texas. This is The Boardroom with Jacoy James Pugh, Latoya Barrow, and Faustina Nkwacha. Executive producer, Cindy B.
Good evening. Hello. Welcome to The Boardroom with Black Women's Wall Street, Inc. This is your girl, Jacoy James Pugh.
And this is Latoya Barrow.
And this is Faustina. Welcome to The Boardroom.
And I am Malinda Williams.
Hi.
Hello.
Our special guest.
All right. So we're kicking off another fabulous week. So excited to be back with my girls again. Did you ladies do anything fun this weekend?
I went to a vendor event today. It was pretty cool, all-white vendor brunch event. I'm excited about meeting those ladies. So ladies, if you are on watching and you met me today, go ahead and put something in the comments. Let me know you're watching. So, but yeah, I was excited about that. And that's really all I did.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything, nothing major. Just got some rest and just kicked back a little bit. But hey, sometimes we just need to rest and rejuvenate, right?
Yeah. What did you do, Linda?
I did a little bit of work, a little bit of play, and a little bit of relaxing. I like to keep, I'm a Libra, so I like to keep things in balance. Mm-hmm. So I did a little of each this weekend.
Yeah,
nice.
I just did a little back office work for the, ITY, the boardroom, and that was it. Just tried to relax today, not do too much laboring.
And y'all got me doing all the work, and y'all was relaxing. I'm joking.
All right, so listen,
back office work, back office support.
That's right.
So you're with the boardroom, and the boardroom is a platform that challenges and disrupts the norm in the business world, giving a voice and permission to the Black female business owner. And so, Faustina, tell everybody what they can understand about what Black Women's Wall Street Incorporated is about and ways in which they can invest in us.
Yes, Black Women's Wall Street, Inc., or BWWS, as we like to call ourselves. We are a nonprofit organization, and we say we're an entrepreneurial development organization. And our mission is to empower Black women who are aspiring to become business owners by providing startup business training, financial literacy, and education so that they can impact local and global communities. And we want to make sure that everyone understands that Black women need that support. They need the help. Today is International Charity Day. So we want everyone to make sure you donate to us, because when you support Black Women's Wall Street, and you're not only supporting the Boardroom Radio Show where we promote Black women in business, you're also supporting our initiatives like our Dear to Inception program. We are really rounding that up and ending the program next Saturday, the 18th. And we're also wanting to let you know that we have our gala in October. So we get to celebrate the women who are really starting their businesses or taking their business to the next level. And then we also want to make sure you understand that we're providing, startup business training, but we're also helping women by providing them with business consulting. So when you support us, you support all of the initiatives that we do and all of the women that we support and everything that we do through Black Women's Wall Street, Inc. So Latoya, tell everyone how to get in contact with us.
Absolutely. Y'all can always put in a contact form on our website. So that's www.blackwomenswallstreet.org/the boardroom. And remember that women's is plural and possessive. So you can hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok at The Boardroom Radio Show, on Twitter at Boardroom_radio, and then on LinkedIn at The Boardroom Radio.
Awesome. Thank you, Latoya. And just to reiterate what Faustina mentioned a moment ago is that we have several different events going on. So really quick, September 23rd is North Texas Giving Day. So that's going to be a day where you can donate funds to your favorite nonprofit organization. And we hope that Black Women's Wall Street is one of your favorites. So please donate on that day. We also have September 25th, Saturday, September 25th, the Ultimate Networking Mixer. So we will be on the showroom floor of Park Place Motor Cars in Arlington. And we're going to have a DJ. We're going to have light bites. We're going to have Tequila Sheila there. providing us some of her signature tequila drinks. We're really excited about that. Tequila Sheila is the official tequila of the Texas Rangers. So, hey, it's a big deal. And then, as Festina mentioned, Saturday, October 23rd is our inaugural gala, and that is going to be celebrating the women that have completed our program, as well as a fundraising event so that we can pour into Black women in business and support those. So, without further ado, ladies, let's get into our voice, our view. So this month, what we're talking about a number of different things. So the first thing, especially with us being Black women and being Black women in business, it's important that we, but then also that others know and understand the importance of advocating for Black women. Festina, I think you say this all the time: empowered women empower women, right?
Yes.
And so, what are some things, and, it's just kind of a free for all, but what are some ways in which you ladies feel that, how can we better advocate for our own?
Oh, you know what? I want to let Malinda kick this off, because Malinda, I listened to our first interview with you, and that was one of the things that you said that stuck out to me. Our advocating for each other. So what are your thoughts?
Well, it's interesting that you say, how can we better advocate? I think we really should start with, how can we advocate? Because sometimes we're just not advocating at all. And I think we need to start there, right? That's how we can show up better, in my opinion. And it's really just representing. I always said, as an actress, most of my life, I always said, I don't represent just myself. I represent another Black woman when I step into a role on screen. I represent also my sisters. I represent my mother and my aunts and my grandmother. And so in that sense, I was always, so to speak, advocating for their image, right? And representing their image. And so if you know another woman who has a business, or if you know another woman who offers a service, and she's not in the room there with you, what can you do to be her cheerleader while she's not there? I think it's very helpful. And I think that's sort of a mindset that we need to begin to carry forward with us when we're doing not just business transactions, but on a personal level too, like vouch for another woman of color.
I would say that I saw something the other day on social media where this gentleman was celebrating 21 years of being in business. And he was very straightforward and blunt in his ask on social media. He said, listen, it doesn't cost you any money. It doesn't cost you any money to share this on your page. Like, show your support by sharing the fact that I am a Black person that is in business. It doesn't cost anything. And I think that's the thing, because I even feel conflicted. I try to do more by when I'm on social media. I mean, we spend a lot of our time on social media, but when I'm on social media and I'm seeing that there's another Black woman, or it could be just another woman that's in business, and I see that she's killing it in the game, I want to share that. And I do. I say sharing is caring, and I put my little heart at the end. That's my thing. Like, that's my signature thing. And so I think what has to happen is we just have to get out of our own way, get out of self, and just take those few seconds to just share something on your page, and then you can get back to the rest of your life. Like, it's a no-brainer for me.
Yeah, and I do think it does go back to what, Malinda and you are saying. I mean, most of the things that we do when we're talking to people, it costs you $0 to do. But then, I also take it a step further too, to say, if you can afford a service or a product that they are selling, at least give them a try. I have had tons of body butters and all kinds of little stuff in my house, candles. I mean, you name it, just from trying them out. I mean, it may have ended up being something that I did not like, but it was something that was affordable, that I could afford. It wasn't hurting me or my family, and giving actual financial support instead of, going to these places like Bath and Body Works, for example. I don't even know if that's Black owned, but, you know, for these commercial places that are not Black owned, you know, to give them a try. You know, you never know what you might look upon. It might be something you'll use for the rest of your life. Like, okay, I absolutely love this and I'm going to order this all the time. I mean, you just never know if you take a chance to really support someone in that way, what it does for them and what it could do for you.
Absolutely. And, you know, for me, advocating for, other Black women in business, it's important to me because, you know, I like to say that I'm channeling my mom, you know, growing up, you know, in Nigeria, she was an entrepreneur. Nobody told her, nobody taught her, nobody showed her. She didn't have a Black Women's Wall Street Inc. She just did it. And so for, you know, countless women who are doing the same thing, we have to support them and we have to invest in them because there's a lot of talk about, yeah, we're investing in Black women in business. But when you look at where the dollars are going, it's only going to a few women as opposed to spreading the wealth around. So we really have to advocate for one another and we really have to invest in each other because that's where it starts. And then once we start to do that, once we start to invest in ourselves and each other in our communities, then everybody's going to look at us and go, oh yeah, we're worth investing. And then you know what happens with everything else that we do, that we make happen. So we really need to take a look at this and say, empowered women do empower women. So we are empowered. We have to empower other women. We have to open up, you know, the doors for them. We have to create opportunities and we have to leverage everything that we have. Like I keep going back to this, like the SBA loan, because they keep saying that they have billions of dollars that still need to be outspent. And if we don't get access to the funds, and if we don't use them to create jobs and business opportunities and network, like our Ultimate Networking event, September 20th, if we don't do that and invest in each other, then those funds that are on the table will not reach our community. And that is the most important thing, sure.
Well, I think that's a great point, Faustina. And if I can say this, I think sometimes I like to, when I'm thinking about, oh, how can we better advocate or how can we advocate? I'm one of those people who likes to investigate, well, why don't we advocate, right? Like what is stopping us and what has been holding us back? Because a lot of times when you get to the root of what an issue is, you're able to unearth it and then grow actual flowers and not weeds, right? Yeah. And so if we're talking about why aren't we advocating, I think part of it is because it stems from that buying into the whole idea of lack, right? If I give or offer something to someone or even my sister, then perhaps there won't be enough for me. Mm-hmm. And that gets to what you're saying about, you know, if those funds aren't trickling down to us, because if it trickles down to one of us, we don't necessarily share the information. Right. But if you win, that really is a win for me because, you know, everything is based on these trends and what's hot right now and where they're giving, what they're giving to, where they're offering the resources to. So it costs you nothing to advocate for another woman. In fact, if you don't advocate for another woman, it might cost you in a way of it not getting to you as well.
Yeah. So I was going to ask this very question. Have either of you ladies ever encountered a situation where you ran into another woman that was doing the same line of business or in the same industry as you? And if so, you know, were you willing to share about who she was, what she was doing? I mean, did you say, you know what, I'm not gonna share or support that because that could potentially, like you said, Malinda, that can take food off of my table. You know, so I'm just curious, have you ever ran into that situation and what have you ladies done or what do you do?
Jacoy, let me speak on that because let me jump right in really quick because that actually did happen to me. Okay. I was working in cosmetics and just one of my coworkers, she had beef with somebody else who wasn't Black. She was Black, I was Black, she wasn't. And I was one of those people I say, you know, what you're doing is just not right. You know, that's not how we want to do things here. And she got mad at that thinking I wasn't supporting her. And I'm like, what you were doing was wrong. So from that day on, she decided to badmouth me. And I don't know why, but for Then I had another coworker come to me and say that she was talking to somebody, a customer, bad mouthing me to the customer. And the thing I did was continue to do me, because you win, I win. I don't have to buy into what you're doing. I don't have to talk about you because you're talking about me. And there's this Pinterest that says, you know what people say about me is none of my business. Also, what they do about me is none of my business too, because I just say, God, that's your child. That's not mine. You deal with it, you know, and I just leave it at that. But, you know, I continued to, when she had customers, they needed help, I helped them because it helped her. If there was somebody called for her, you know, I left the message for her because I knew she wasn't going to talk to me. I just wrote her a note and saying, call this person, make sure you do, followed up with her, make sure she did. And, you know, that's all I could do. She continued to badmouth me until, you know what, God said, okay, it's time for her to go. And he took her out. He sent her packing somewhere else.
He didn't take her all the way out.
How far out did he take her?
The Lord took her out. True story. So my thing is, we have to start to treat each other differently and better. You know, again, because if you're an empowered woman, you don't have to bring somebody down. You don't have to tear them down. You know, and if you're in the same industry, understand you're not going to get every client, right? Yeah, how about you have an agreement with them and say, listen, you do this well, I do this. If I have a client that I'm not able to service them, I'm going to refer them to you, because at least I know they're going to somebody with some integrity, some skill set, and I'm comfortable referring to you, and vice versa. It'll come back to you. Like you say, Jacoy, there are plenty of people on this earth without our having to tear each other down.
Absolutely. What about you, Malinda?
There's enough for everybody. Well, I mean, I think, I don't know if my position is unique or not, but I think it maybe somewhat is. I mean, you know, for years I go to auditions and, you know, there's one role available, right? We all in here for the same role. Right. But I always found myself going in and I know the nature of it. The nature of it is sometimes we're nervous. Sometimes, you know, we're feeling a certain type of way and we all know each other, but yet when we get in this room, we all become competition and we can't speak, you know, we can't be friends when we're in that room. And I always think, well, you know, I just like to be myself. And so I try to read the room, but I'll also try to offer someone who I know might be open to it to read lines with them. Do you want to go over your lines while we're all in here waiting, instead of us all waiting in silence and not looking at each other? And I respect those who make that choice. But if there's also someone who needs to go over it because, you know, I think it's helpful, or if they think it's helpful, then I'm happy to, because only one of us is going to get it. But I don't think I can get something that was for her, and she's not going to get something that is meant for me. So
really quick, I'm so sorry. Let me say this. You know what I think about, Malinda? Y'all remember on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air when Aunt Viv went in and killed it with that ballet, that dance? Oh, Malinda, I literally had that visual in my head when you were talking about auditions. Like, Malinda, you would probably went in there and you just killed it and you just walked out, just kind of sashayed out of the room.
I go in, there's a certain level when you know everybody in that room goes in and kills it. We all here to kill it. That's where we are. That's what level we're at that point. But and because we're all friends, and because I understand, listen, I'm not here to take anything from you. I'm here to get what I'm supposed to get, whether that's, you know, an interaction with you or this role. But I'm going to go hard at either one of those things.
Yeah.
What about you, Toya?
So on my side of things, so y'all know I'm a virtual assistant. There's hundreds, millions of us out there, and we work virtually, so we don't always get the opportunity to see each other. But as far as trying to uplift and giving up other people's information, yes, I have, because everything that I do, everybody else can't do, and vice versa. I can't do everything that everybody else does. Yeah. So, for example, content creation is not my ministry. There are some wonderful virtual assistants out there who can do that and, you know, get paid to do that. I don't. So, you know, if there ever is a client that's like, hey, look, can you create content? Can you do this or that? And I'm like, you know what? I can't. I can only like schedule your posts on social media, but I know someone who can. Here's a list of some ladies that I have that can do that part for you. So that's just been really my experience on that. But yes, I always try to uplift and share information like that, especially if they're in my industry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I would say I think it's just what we've just been talking about. Realistically, the whole thing is that there's enough room for everybody. It's enough for everybody to eat if you want it bad enough. You don't have to tear the next person down to get what you want. Whatever is for you is for you. So we will continue this conversation. We're going to go to a commercial break really quick. So you are with the Boardroom with Black Women's Wall Street, Inc., where you will always have a seat at the table.
Let's keep the conversation going. It's the Boardroom with Black Women's Wall Street Incorporated.
Do you own a business that recently suffered loss of employees, revenue, and customers? Are you leaving money on the table by not having an online presence? You could be missing out on hundreds, even thousands of dollars in sales each month. Establishing an online presence is what allowed many businesses to stay open, even thrive during a time of record unemployment. I'm Malinda Williams, actress and founder of She'sGotAHabit.com. Most people know me as Bird from the hit television series Soul Food, but I'm also a hardworking entrepreneur focused on helping others expand their business to include an e-commerce selling platform. I created She'sGotAHabit.com to empower women to achieve economic wellness and better health, mind, body, and soul. Head over to She'sGotAHabit.com and join our community. Connect with us and be inspired and motivated to build and grow your business today. It's time to build generational wealth. The future is now.
Taylormade Consulting Group is your partner when it comes to business consulting. We will provide your business with a variety of tools that can be used to accomplish day-to-day and long-term business goals and objectives. We have specialists that can assist your company with cloud services, digital marketing, business plan development, videography and photography services, business entity formation, search engine optimization, graphic design, web design, printing, and much, much more. We take pride in the relationships we build with our clients, the personalized services we provide our clients, and the results delivered to our clients. We are Google Cloud Partners, Google Resellers, and Google Certified to get you on the first page of Google. Visit Taylormade Consulting Group at BeMyConsultant.com. Try our business scan tool and see your online visibility score for free. Or you can contact us with promo code BWWS for 1 hour of business consulting for free. Visit Taylormade Consulting Group at BeMyConsultant.com. Again, check us out at BeMyConsultant.com today.
Experience life beyond shea butter with Nappy and Happy Bath and Body products. Nappy and Happy is a premium organic bath and body brand specializing in vegan products infused with organic erotic butters and oils. With our handmade soaps, soufflés, luxurious lotions, body sprays, and more made for women and men. Nappy and Happy's Wet Whip Body Polish is infused with a skin-loving blend of Brazilian cupuaçu butter straight from the Amazonian rainforest with our tropical organic mango butter scented with a delicate blend of orange blossoms and citrus notes that are dried down to a soft and powdery fragrant finish. If you're looking for something to pamper your body, we have exactly what you need. Experience life beyond shea butter with Nappy and Happy premium organic bath and body products. Available now at www.nappyandhappy.com.
You're inside the Boardroom with Black Women's Wall Street Incorporated.
Hey, you are back with the Boardroom with Black Women's Wall Street Incorporated. This is Jacoy James Pugh.
It's Latoya Barrow.
Hey, and I'm Christina. Welcome to the Boardroom.
I'm Malinda Williams.
And Malinda Williams, if y'all didn't know, Malinda Williams is the one and only Bird from Soul Food, the TV series Soul Food. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is like, she's the bomb.com. So she has joined us today. She's joined us today, and she is an entrepreneur as well. She's Got a Habit. And so really quick, Malinda, can you tell people what She's Got a Habit is all about?
Yeah, so She's Got a Habit is a wellness-focused multi-vendor marketplace that provides a platform for women entrepreneurs, so they could have economic security, but also better health through practicing good habits. And there's a blog, you can shop there. You can also sell there if you're an entrepreneur. You have a business that sells products. We offer storefronts for small business owners. And then also we are building a community portal as well. So
Very nice.
still much to come on that platform.
Very nice. And so if you are joining us today, and if you have a question for Malinda, don't be shy. Please get on social media, type your question, and we'll make sure that Malinda gets an opportunity to answer that. By the way, Latoya, do we have anybody out there that is saying hello or checking us out today on the show?
Let us see here.
Let us see.
Hello,
Yes.
everyone. Let's welcome them to the
Hello.
boardroom.
Yes. All right, so shout out to Melissa Jones. Thank you
Melissa.
for watching. All right, we have a Teresa Heard Phillips Red.
Hey, Teresa.
Hi, Teresa.
Yes, and we also have a Dominique Cleveland. So
Dominique.
thank you.
Welcome.
All right, and last but not least, Angel Gossam.
Hey, Angel.
So hello,
Angel.
thank y'all so much. And we
Thanks.
do have a few others, so thank y'all for joining us today. We appreciate y'all taking the time out.
Thanks for tuning in.
Our
All
voice,
right,
our
so-
view.
So we're going to continue our conversation. Before we went to our commercial break, we were just talking about advocating for Black women. And then we were just talking about how we support other women that may be in the same industry. But I want to pivot and talk about something that I don't think is talked about a lot when it comes to Black businesses. You know, I think sometimes we as Black business owners, we get so focused on our particular craft, you know, whatever product or service it is that we offer. But a lot of times we don't give the necessary attention to the soft skills of business. And so what I'm talking about when I'm saying soft skills, I'm talking about, you know, communication, your ability to problem solve, leadership, teamwork, you know, time management, critical thinking, following up, following through, building rapport, your emotional intelligence, like the list goes on and on and on. And so one thing that I want to throw out there, ladies, when it comes to being Black women in business, what are some soft skills that you have found to be critical for your business, or maybe it was something that you knew was likely weak in one area and you were intentional about improving upon that particular soft skill?
Communication in mind, because as a virtual assistant, you cannot do a job if you don't have all of the tools or if you don't have all the instructions. It's hard for you to follow through on that, and you have to ask very specific questions and to kind of get your client to kind of give you all the goodies. So you're like, okay, now I can proceed in doing your ask, whatever that is that you're asking me to do for that. So I think it goes both ways though, because if someone gives you, or if your client gives you something and you don't have any type of questions to ask them, or you don't know specific questions to ask them to get the information needed, then you're falling short as a virtual assistant as well. So I think it works both ways. Again, that's the number one thing in my line of business is communication. We have to find whatever our way is to communicate with each other, whether that's text message, phone calls, emails, if there's Teams or whatever apps that they're using, because there's hundreds of them, like Asana, Trello, you know, Monday.com, whatever it is that they're using to be able to get information to me and how I can translate that to make their business flow. So that's mine.
Yeah, I think I agree. Communications was definitely number one for me as well. But I also think the processes, and having like, one process that you find that works. And obviously you have to do some testing to find out what's the best, most efficient way for your business to run. And then put that thing in some sort of automated formula, some sort of automated platform or software where you can kind of put that on as much on autopilot as possible so that you can be on to the next thing. That's a great time saver, automating processes.
Awesome. Christina?
I don't know if everyone knew that Bird was actually a techie.
Definitely.
Definitely is. I'm not, but I can piggyback on what she said because the process, the system, the structure, that's my thing. And for me, it always stemmed from the fact that I never worked in a place where everything was in place, always shorthanded. And so I have to kind of look at the foundation and go, okay, I'm on a construction site, have to repair the foundation and build up. So the structure, the order, the system, it's important to me. And particularly when you're shorthanded, I've always found that when you have that kind of assembly line process, one person leaves, one person's out, everybody, it's next person up, So you're not sitting on the bench kind of goofing up. You're actually, watching the game, you know what's going on, you know what the opposing player is doing. So that when coach calls your number, it's like, okay, I got it, And the other thing too is it's not just enough, I think, to be a problem solver. Problem sensitivity is important too, because you can sometimes anticipate some things that happen by just asking a couple of questions, particularly with a project or anything that you're doing. Ask those questions that, the average person is going to ask and then answer them. So that at the end of the day, when everything's said and done, because everything isn't going to go right. It's not going to all be perfect. But at the end of the day, at least the question that everyone's going to ask is going to be one of those things now, never in a million years would I have thought about that. I'm good with that. But if it's those obvious questions that make you go, how come nobody thought about this and it's staring you right in the face? Ooh, that kind of makes me go, Lord, help me.
I think it's also, you both, Latoya and Faustina both made great points, right? And so if you can marry the three of those ideas, what Malinda said, what I said, and what you both said, so those frequently asked questions, you can also put those in an automation, not as sort of a canned response, but as an anticipated response. So, if people ask those questions frequently, then you have that answer for them at the ready to fire off. Then you don't have to spend that extra time composing the email or the answer for it. That's just another way to sort of streamline your process.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. And, even in all of that, I think customer service is an area that we typically, I don't know. I don't know what it is about the Black community. And it's not to say that it's just us, but, because I'm Black, how it's one thing I'm Black and I can talk about my own people, but you can't.
Well, tell us how you feel, like, what do you mean specifically in customer service?
So for me personally, I am a stickler for customer service in that a person is going to go above and beyond to ensure that they've done everything that they can do to ensure that by experience with said product or said service, that they hit the nail on the head with that, that they are taking the time to fully communicate, that they are following back up or following through with something that they told me that they were going to do, that they are being sensitive to my needs and to my expectations. It's a number of different things that go into customer service, but I feel like with being Black in business, I feel like what we need to take more time, care, and attention to is doing a better job in listening to the needs of our clients. And depending on what it is, what type of client it is, seeing if you can successfully manage their expectations. So that's what I would say, in a nutshell, about customer service. It's all of those things, in my opinion.
Ooh, Jacoy, if I could add one thing too, for me, it's always, to me, it's not a problem unless, I can't solve it and I can't find someone who can. That's when I can tell you that you have a problem. Because for me, it would, I didn't only want to find somebody to solve the problem. I wanted to know what the answer is. Because one thing I always found is God will keep sending the same thing to you until you find that answer. And I'm like, Lord, okay, I don't need to keep taking the same test. Let me just take the test and pass it and keep it pushing. So if you keep saying, well, so-and-so can help you, so-and-so can help you. Well, one, you're not learning. And that's the whole point in what you're doing, is to acquire as much knowledge as you can, but also to help someone. So I would always like to take on those challenges, and I'd have my little notes and who I talked to and when and what manual they referenced and this, that, and the third, so that I would always have something to refer back to. And then you would make sure that I just follow up to see if nothing has changed. And then I'd make a contact with somebody in another department. So if I had a situation that I really needed some help right now, I'd go straight to that person and, can you help me? I'm going to shoot you an email. Can you take care of this? And then boom. And then it makes you look good in the sight of the person that you're helping. And also too, if you don't have an answer right then, and you can get the person's contact information, find a solution and then try and get back to them. Because again, that's all that they want, is to be heard and to be helped.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, at the same time, Toya and Malinda, the two of you were looking like y'all had an opinion with regards to that. Because Malinda, you had asked me, what did I mean by customer service exactly? So did either of you have, anything to pivot from that?
Well, it was just about, when you mention, when you talk about customer service and people of color, right? So just wanting to know, like, what part of that are you meaning? Seems to frustrate, maybe be frustrating. One of the things I do find when we are clients or customers is that we expect the same level of service from everyone. So if you're dealing with someone who is a startup or someone who is just getting their business up and running, to Faustina's earlier point, sometimes we're shorthanded. Sometimes we are a team of one. Sometimes, we don't have a whole customer service department, like some of these major department stores or these major outlets do. And so can't necessarily offer the same service, but the expectation that we can is still there. And so with regard to that, I don't think we give each other enough grace when it comes to, if we're supporting another Black business, and it happens to be Black owned, I don't think we give each other the grace in this period. We just feel like if you're a business, then you have the capability that every business has. Yeah. And that's not always the case.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that goes to the customer is not always right. Okay.
Right.
The customer is not always right. I don't know how I came up with that, but that's like having folded jeans and sweaters on a table.
Right.
Yeah, no, not always right. Yeah, and my only take on that was just having a customer service background. Everything just has always been just really service driven. In my mind, and the way that I process things and how I want things to look and to feel to my customers and my clients, and for whatever their experience is the one thing they can say is that I was not nice, or something like that, for example, in what I was doing. But yes, I agree with you, Malinda, to a point. As far as what you were saying, as far as we don't give each other enough grace. But there's also still, you have to set a standard. Like, we can't continually allow, or be okay with our brothers and sisters in business and slacking, if you will. But I do believe that we should give them another opportunity to be able to prove that they heard what we said and, they're doing better. So like, if you go to a Black owned fast food restaurant, they didn't get your order right. Hopefully you will go back again to give them an opportunity to see if they've done better. I do agree with that as well.
Right.
Yeah.
And even just nicely saying to the person, XYZ happened. And I just feel like it would have been nicer if ABC happened instead. That would have made me feel better. And I'm just saying that because I just don't want someone else to experience that. And then they're going to leave and talk about you and your business, etc. And those are the kind of things that we can do to help, because it's about, our supporting each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And I think it goes back to what you said earlier, Toya, about communication. I think at the end of the day, communication really is the biggest thing there, because taking what you said, Malinda, about, okay, you have one business that has a 20-person team and then another one that just has a 2-person team. The same level of work, or the ability, the same level of speed, quality, and all of that is likely, it's going to be a completely different experience. But my biggest thing is, I think it's going to always come back to a person's willingness and ability to communicate. So if you communicate and you set those boundaries and those parameters, that's what's going to be the biggest thing, in my opinion, with regards to, from one business that's smaller than another business that is an enterprise, at an enterprise level. It's just being able to communicate, just overly communicate, set the boundaries so that it can be understood and everybody knows where they stand. And so what we'll do, we're going to go ahead and take another commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to finish up this conversation that seems like we all have an opinion about.
I have a question actually when we return about that.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so you are with the Boardroom with Black Women's Wall Street, Inc., where you will always have a seat at the table.
Want more? Like and follow us at the Boardroom Radio Show.
If you love soul food the way I do, then Miss Mary's Southern Kitchen is where you want to go. Their new location is at 605 North Denton Tap and Highway 121 in Coppell, Texas. Not in the mood to cook dinner? Then place your order at www.missmaryssouthernkitchen.com or drive through on your way home. That's right. Miss Mary's Southern Kitchen has the only drive-through window for soul food in Dallas. Whether you're dining in or using their drive-thru, you can order their fried chicken or catfish. You can't forget about their sides like collard greens, candied yams, and the best mac and cheese ever. And Miss Mary's desserts are made from scratch, and you want to try her butter cake. It's worth breaking your diet for. Let Miss Mary's Southern Kitchen make dinner for your family tonight or cater your next event. Order at www.missmaryssouthernkitchen.com or use the drive-thru at their new location at 605 North Denton Tap Road and Highway 121 in Coppell. That's Miss Mary's Southern Kitchen.
You've been looking for fabulous eyewear. Look no further. I Do Eyewear has fashionable optical quality eyewear at a price that allows you to have several pairs to complement your style choice of the day or moment. I Do Eyewear provides fashionable and affordable optical quality eyewear and sunglasses with impeccable customer service while also contributing and giving back to our community. We believe everyone should look stylish, glamorous, funky, or fantastically unique without it costing a fortune. Our mission is dedicated to those committed to fashion or who want to be. We accept flexible spending, healthcare accounts, and we also have a program where we'll mail you some frames to try on before making your final selection. The first thing people see when they look at you is your eyewear or sunglasses, so you might as well show up with your strong eyewear game. Contact us at www.idoeyewear.com or call us 1254-EYEWEAR. That's 1254-EYEWEAR. We look forward to framing you.
Back to the Boardroom with Black Women's Wall Street Incorporated.
All right, you are back with the Boardroom with Black Women's Wall Street, Inc., and we've been here with the wonderful Malinda Williams, also known as Bird of the TV series Soul Food, and She's Got a Habit. Malinda, before our break, you said that you had a question. What was your follow-up question from when we were talking earlier?
I do. We were talking about customer service, right? And Faustina, you said earlier that the customer is really not always right. Sometimes the customer isn't right, but they don't know that. They don't think so. And I wonder how you ladies feel about losing customers, right? Because I feel like sometimes there are businesses and those of us who are in smaller businesses, we have a smaller customer base, right? And so it seems like we must fight tooth and nail to keep every single customer because I don't want to lose any customers because that's, what we've been told is to, cater to the customer and make sure that you keep them coming back or you want them to come back. But how do you feel about, what's the line that you draw when you say this customer is really not worth me holding on to because they may be costing me time and resources that I could be using to do other parts of my business or grow other parts of my business?
Right. Well, I will take that question because I feel like that goes back to kind of what Jacoy was saying earlier about soft skills. And in the beginning of your business, there are that hard work that you have to do in figuring out who is your ideal client or customer. Everybody is not your ideal client or customer. And that's something I think everybody needs to understand before going in business. That's just what it is. Everybody's not going to meet those things. So it's important to, kind of have that meeting or build a rapport with someone before you decide to go into business with them, because you already know who they are, how they are, and how to, lean forward. And sometimes people can put on a great facade, but I think that is really good as far as a business person. You have to have boundaries and you have to set standards. So this is kind of like when I was saying, we have to set a standard to raise the bar, but there's going to be certain things that you will do and will not do based on whatever reasons you have, but contracts are good. So when you're going into or entering into business with someone, if you have that laid out in writing, they sign saying they have read it and they understand it, had the opportunity to ask questions, all of that helps before you actually say, yes, we're going to go into business. And then if something doesn't meet those standards, your contract backs you up, and you always have that right to be like, hey, we're at an evaluation point. I don't think this is working out for me because of X, Y, and Z. Thank you, but we're going to go ahead and end this contract on X, Y, and Z date. Something like that.
And here's what I'll say, Malinda. I've given money back.
Same.
Okay? Let's keep it 100. Okay.
Absolutely.
I've given money back because
Right.
I didn't want to deal with that. Because like Toya said a moment ago, everybody is not your ideal client, and you have to maintain your sanity. You have to manage expectations, and that has to be done as it's a partnership, and it's a fine dance between you and the client. And so if I find that somebody is expecting me to do something that is completely outrageous, I just say, you know what, this is where I draw the line in the sand. But yeah, I've given money back, and it's totally fine because my peace of mind, my sanity, I'm okay with that. And I just trust and believe that what's for me is for me, and I'll be able to pick up another client that'll be able to meet that, money that I would have lost in that particular client. So that's my thing. But here's the thing, ladies, I have bad news. We're at the end of our time.
No, already? Oh my
Just
goodness.
that fast. So let's do this really quick, ladies. Okay, Malinda, here's what we want to do. We want to make sure that everybody knows how to get in contact with you. What are your social media handles in which they can contact you for She's Got a Habit?
She's Got a Habit on Instagram, and she'sgotahabit.com is our website. And my personal page is Mullins World. That's it.
All right. And Toya, what are the ways in which people can connect with us, Black Women's Wall Street or the Boardroom?
Absolutely. So our website, www.blackwomenswallstreet.org/the boardroom. Remember, women's is plural
and possessive.
On Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at The Boardroom Radio Show, on LinkedIn at The Boardroom Radio, and on Twitter at Boardroom_radio.
All right, awesome. So we had another wonderful Our Voice, Our View. Thank you so much, Malinda. We look forward to having you back on next month so we can continue this girl talk in the boardroom. So everybody, thank you for being a part. We hope to see you next week. We'll be back next week. And thank you again for joining us with the Boardroom with Black Women's Wall Street, Inc., where you will always have a seat at the table.